Good morning.
Morning.
Warren Fiscal Court, Friday, December 17th, 2021 is now called to order, and I want to welcome Esquire Mark Young, who's here with us today to, as always, but is today going to offer prayer, and I'd like to ask for everyone's to bow their heads with Mark, and immediately afterwards he will lead us in the pledge.
Bow with me, please. Lord, we come to you this morning with many people's concerns and troubles on our hearts. We know that you know all these things. We received a mighty blow from Mother Nature this past week, not only locally, but state and even nationally. We pray, God, that you will be with all these individuals that have lost physical things, but especially those that have lost loved ones. Comfort and strengthen them as only you can. We're also mindful this morning of our good friend and fellow magistrate Tony Payne is not able to be with us this morning. We pray that you will continue to be with him, the doctors that take care of him, and we know you answer prayers. Tony is doing well and has got some good results. We just asked you to be with him. God, we also know and understand that this is our opportunity to fulfill one of your commandments, to love our neighbor as ourselves. And we pray that we can show that love in whatever way we can. So many people in need of so many things. We thank you for the community that we live in, for all those that have helped and are helping, even as we speak. People they don't even know. But we pray and thank you for that blessing. God, we now ask you to be with us as we conduct the business of the county here this morning. And each decision that we make, we do that in accordance with your will. God, we love you and we know that you love us. Thank you so much for Jesus, your Son and our Savior. And we ask all these things in his precious name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Esquire Young, Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
Cummings.
Here.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Esquire Gorman.
Here.
Esquire Payne.
Need to approve the minutes of the fiscal court meeting of November 19th. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion, questions? No additions or corrections, please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Need to approve the work schedule, Warren County Road Department.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire McWhorter. No changes or questions, please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
To approve the excuse me, the personnel changes for Warren County.
Yep. So moved.
Motion by Squire Gorman, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 7 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance number 2158, an ordinance of the fiscal court of the county of Warren, Kentucky, relating to authorizing and establishing a local development area for economic and infrastructure development to be known as Warren County Development Area Number 8, designating the ITA, working with the County Treasurer's Office as the agency responsible for oversight, administration, and implementation of this ordinance. Designation of the Development Board to act as an advisory capacity, authorizing the imposition of an occupational license tax, establishing a special fund, authorizing and approving a local development agreement, providing for periodic accounting and analysis, and authorizing such other actions as necessary or required by the Act with respect to the establishment of the Warren County Development Area Number 8.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Gorman. Any questions or discussion? I think you all understood this from the first reading. Being none, please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 8 is approved first reading of ordinance 2166, an ordinance approving an interlocal agreement between the County of Warren, Kentucky, the City of Bowling Green, and the Intermodal Transportation Authority, Inc., related to the acquisition of additional real property for the expansion of Kentucky Transport.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all. Mr. Mefford, if you'll let me know when you're ready. Okay. Okay, if there are no objections, we have Glenda Beck, who I think all of you all know, along with Mr. Raymond Poff, who are here this morning that would like to share something in regard to tornado cleanup. Glenda, glad to have you here today.
Well, it's good to be back. I think the last time I was here, there was wonderful food everywhere,
Yeah.
and that was quite pleasant. I'm basically going to introduce Raymond Poff. I'm associated with a cleanup-free service that would be so valuable right now, and just please, you all got a notice in your mailboxes. I emailed everybody, so this is just a follow-up. Good to see everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you, Glenda.
We live in a God-blessed community.
Thank you. Give Eddie our best.
Oh, I will.
Good morning. Thank you for providing a couple minutes. So as everyone in this room knows, I live here in Bowling Green. We have been blessed with so many people coming into the community to help. It's amazing. So the gentleman working the AV, I think, has an image to show from our website. So basically, there is a national website that has been established, that's been in play for years. It's Crisiscleanup.org. The purpose of this website is to help communities and relief organizations tackle the challenge of working with volunteers and getting volunteers to the places that they need to be. We suspect that in the next week or so, when things die down a little bit, the enthusiasm, if you will, there's still going to be a lot of work to do. This system allows a relief organization to register with the organization. There's a hotline that community members can call, and they can say, hey, I have a roof on my house. That'd be nice in some places. I have a tree on my house. I need some help. I have whatever. The relief organizations then can access those work tickets. They can assign work teams to go out. They're asked to take pictures of the damage before, what it looks like after. They're asked to record the work hours that were required to do the job. My understanding is that Kentucky VOAD, other VOADs, FEMA are utilizing this information. So we just wanted to make sure that that our community was aware that this resource is available. There's not a charge. We looked the other day and you have several relief organizations in the community that are using this system, and they're completing some of the jobs that are out there. But again, I'm grateful for all the people that have come in to help our community. This isn't going to be a short process, and this might be something that will help the community kind of long-term to take care of the other needs that we're going to have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and I appreciate it.
I always have a footnote. The first thing that impressed me when I started researching this is one phone call, manned, saves 7 hours of physical labor in the field. One phone call that's manned. So that should be a piece of pertinent information, because you that are out working 7 hours is a meaningful thing to some family.
Thank you. I mean, I think this is very valuable. I'm going to pass this on to Ronnie Pearson with the emergency management and with the FEMA, and with the people that have come in with FEMA and Tetra Tech and the other companies who are. Yes, ma'am.
He mentioned it, but all of this is reported directly to FEMA. That's going to say.
Can you? Yeah. Thank you.
These reports that go through this system go into FEMA. Hours of paperwork will be saved.
Ms. Beck, question, how long will this program go on?
The hotline is opened until December 24th. That could be subject to be extended, but right now it's open until December 24th. Please, please utilize this.
Thank you very much. That volunteers are absolutely necessary. We've tried to pass on a lot of this information to. This is one I absolutely was not aware of, and I'm sure that they are. But I want to bring it to their attention, because we are overwhelmed with the amount of cleanup that's coming. We've passed on information to our cleanup crew. We can only go so far. We have to stay on right-of-ways. So we're working with the city and county, and working to make sure that people understand that we can't go on their private property and cut up trees and so forth. But volunteers can, and tree trimmers and people who are in the business can. But many people can't afford to hire tree companies to do that, so the volunteers would be very beneficial. We have asked everyone to get their debris, their vegetative debris out to the road, to the curb, so that we can pick it up. We can only pick up what can be picked up with that arm from the street. We can't get off the right of way. So I've seen piles that are everywhere that looks like they may be able to push them up farther after we clean up what we can legally clean up. And then some people have decided to just contract with the private tree companies, tree trimming companies and stump removers and so forth, and that's fine too. But for us, we have to do it a certain way, and we have to work with FEMA. Ronnie, would you like to address any of this? But we have to haul it in a certain way. But hold it, we have Mr. John Wilson with us as well from FEMA, who's
Yes, sir.
capable of telling you exactly what we need to do.
John Wilson is the division supervisor with FEMA. These guys came in yesterday. He is the Operations Division, and he's the Kentucky Division Supervisor. And John, I'm going to let you have the floor.
Thank you, Ron County. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Wilson.
Stu Anderson sends his regrets. He's over in Taylor County having a similar meeting with the county judges over there. So I've been asked to stand in his place because normally he would be the point of contact for you all in terms of matters that are of concern to you. I, on the other hand, have been assigned to this fine, outstanding gentleman here to assist him in any way of getting the resources that are available once you get a presidential declaration in place from FEMA. We're just getting started. The declaration was last week. Currently, y'all are eligible for individual assistance, as well as reimbursing eligible costs for your debris costs, as well as expenses that you did for emergency protective measures. I want to thank the sheriff and his staff for allowing us to tour the disaster area yesterday, along with Ron's help. You certainly got your share of a major disaster, no question about it. And there's some people hurting, and you all are on a very solid start in getting that done. You'll have some folks from FEMA coming in Monday to determine your eligibility for other types of federal assistance that's available through the Public Assistance Program. And from what I've seen, it's probably, more than a solid chance that you'll be getting that as well. Main thing to point out for you all on individual assistance is we can't help you unless we know what the problem is. And for that, the people have to call our number, 1-800-FEMA, 321-FEMA, get on the website, or we'll have disaster survivor assistance teams out in the community going door to door, properly credentialed, so that we can get a better idea of what the problems are and what we can do to take care of them. So it's very important for people not to sit back and wait for everything to come. They have to come to us to help us understand what the problems are. So again, we're just on the ground. We want to thank you for all the hospitality and the open doors that you have received with us. That's always a good way to start a relationship, and believe me, this will be a relationship that's for long term. It's not just a week or two. It's not Amazon Prime. So we will be here a while, and we appreciate the welcome and the cooperation that we received so far.
Thank you, and I appreciate how much help you all have been to us at this point. And I'm just wondering, when is the center going to be open for people to come into the center? Do you know?
Judge, we've actually got FEMA officials out there now. There's
Okay.
a few more logistical things that's got to be set up, and once we feel that we're done, then we will get a green light from FEMA, and we'll announce it through their public relations to all mass multimedia, to the public. But they're still on the ground, I think, actually doing some work at the
Okay.
shelter.
Well, the team that was at the school will be there at the building today. They will continue to take, people can still register for assistance. We just won't have the full disaster recovery center package available quite yet.
Right.
Okay.
Is that Jennings Creek
Yes,
School? Okay.
At Jennings Creek School. By the way, the governor's going to be visiting there at 12:30 tomorrow, planning to be at the Jennings Creek School. And I'm not sure, Senator McConnell's going to be here touring all of the site today, and I'm not sure if he's going to be stopping in at Jennings Creek or not, but it depends on his time, but he wants to see the volunteers and thank them, and but he also really wants to see a coverage. I don't know, you guys have all seen this, but it's amazing. I don't think Chris has this in there, but we have a line that the tornado came through where extraordinary amount of damage. Extraordinary amount of damage, but there are trees down all over the county. It's not just in that path. So we have, I think, 8 serious centers or areas that were hurt very badly with Some people lost homes. We had roughly 107 homes that, or is that 97 homes? Or?
Got some data for you.
Oh, okay, I'll let you do this, okay?
Just to give you a brief synopsis of where we're at from Saturday morning to today. As you're all aware, unfortunately, we've had 16 fatalities. So if everyone put their prayers into those families, we'd be greatly appreciated. We had unfortunately one unrelated direct from the storm, but we had a individual pass away from doing cleanup. The first thing for our step is what we call damage assessments. We got to get out in the field and make sure these individuals have what they need and to see how much damage is there. As of yesterday afternoon, probably have already looked at over 2,500 homes and businesses. There's been fields on the team since Sunday morning trying to get a hold of that, but reviewing those 2,500, we have over 1,000 homes that have had some type, have been affected by this disaster. Over 90 businesses so far registered, and we have found that have had some kind of damages, but that's continuing, and hopefully over the next 2 to 3 days, we'll have that completed and somewhat solid. If someone has had damages you're aware of, if you could please just let my office know so that we can make sure we can go back if we missed them. We're getting reports of damages in Richardsville. We've got reports of damages in Hadley. So throughout the county, there's possibility that we've missed a place, but we want to make sure we get to those. If you guys could take that information and please share it with us, we'll get damage assessment teams up there. We're looking to establish a disaster recovery center. We will get that announcement out just as soon as we get those logistics done. It's also going to be a donations distribution place as well. So it's one-stop shop for those just as soon as we get that fully up and operational. If anyone wants to drop off donations, they can do that. They'll gladly take it. 2 shelters. We've got one set up at the Jennings Creek School, at the JC Pavilion, and of the numbers last night, there was only we're down to 17 at the JC Pavilion, and we've got 4 at the Red Cross. So we're making progress, but we're also looking to try to get those individuals and those families into some kind of semi-private solution other than sleeping on a cot. And so we're anticipating we've been given a directive to get that done by Wednesday. So we've got a lot of hard work to do over the next few days. Our focus is on housing, cleanup, the thousands of volunteers that have turned out throughout the state of Kentucky and multiple states has just been a blessing. We're making progress. So we've got a lot of work ahead. As John alluded, this is going to take months and possibly years. But we've got a lot of people on the ground working it. Both county, city employees are just working on a frazzle already. But as always, they get the job done. So we're going to continue the efforts and move forward. Is there any particular questions you guys have for us?
I have one, Ronnie.
Yes, sir.
I know there's been an outpouring of people donating stuff, and that's great. But there are probably some specific things that nobody's donating, pots and pans, silverware. My question is, what is needed more now than what's already been taken in?
That process, as I was toured in the facility last night, and it's a wide variety from personal hygiene products to, there's probably 60 pallets of water plus. We're going to inventory that today and create a list of those things that we're short on, and we'll get those back out through social media sites to look for those specifics. But again, baby food, diapers, everything, the communities have just been overwhelmingly to give for those that are in need. But those specific items we're short on, we'll be gladly get a list out and get that to the public.
Yeah, and I expect we're going to be short on quite a bit, because I don't think everyone who's been donating things really has thought through, what would I need if I lost my home?
Yeah.
Basically, it's everything, from shampoo and dishwashing detergent and clothes, detergent for your washing clothes, washing machines, beds, shoes, socks.
a wide variety. There's been clothes donated, cleaning supplies, garbage bags, shrink wrap, toys. Toys have been an outpouring so far, and at this particular time of year, that's something that could probably be utilized. But let us get the inventory specific, and we'll be glad to share that with everybody.
Hey, Ronnie, question. I'm sure everybody will want to know the answer to this. You can probably tell us. I understand they're going to start picking up debris tomorrow.
I'm going to divert that to Josh with
Okay.
the discussions I think that are coming.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Ronnie, we've talked about, or you have, the, physical items. What about money?
There is, I think, some accounts that's already been set up for those that would like to make monetary donations.
That's at United Way. It's, you can go online. It's UWSK, United Way of Southern Kentucky, UWSK.org. And you can donate right there. And 100% of that.
United Way is said 100% of those donations stay here.
Right, 100% of those donations will stay here, will go into the community for recovery.
And no administrative costs added to that.
And yeah, they've agreed to not take any administrative costs. This is going straight into the community, every dollar.
And of course, we all know too, the local churches, a lot of them have reached out and been working, so we know if you donate to them, that is staying.
Oh, absolutely. It never hurts to donate to your church.
Absolutely.
But there are a number of churches who have been giving us a great deal of volunteer support, and actually, we wouldn't be where we are today had it not been for the churches who have really organized and tried to help people and get it to a position where we can actually start doing what government's capable of doing.
Just a final note I'd like to share is it's been trying on all the citizens and everyone of Warren County. The mental stress is one of the items that we want to make sure is please reach out to anyone that there are a lot of ministries and individuals and agencies that are here to help. So if they would reach out, we'll make sure that we get those needs fulfilled as well. But please be thinking and praying for everybody that's involved in this, and we're going to continue to move forward and be Warren County strong. Any other questions? If may, Judge, can I be excused? John and I have a lot of things to do.
I totally understand. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here, and thank you very much, Mr. Wilson, for being here. We look forward to working with you more. I'm going to ask Josh to come up and follow up on that debris question, but let me just tell you, first of all, I want to apologize to all the citizens and people throughout the state and throughout the nation who've called, texted, or emailed me about what to do and so forth. We're really just getting caught up on where we can start taking action. And I know that everybody wants to help right at first, but we're going to need the help for some time to come. And those people who I have not been able to respond to with any direction, I apologize. I will get back with you, but I have literally, I guess, 1,000 new emails about what can I do, where do you need me, and there's just not enough. There's not enough time in the 24-hour day to respond to everyone at this point. But I am going to get back to everyone. Mr. Moore, I know you've been busy as can be.
Yeah, and I'll just, there may be some additional questions later about the process for debris removal, but to answer your question, Rex, our contractor is in town. There's a process of making sure all the trucks are measured and certified and stuff before the FEMA pickup process for documentation purposes. I'm sure most of you know one of the most important parts of this is documentation. That's why we've been very careful in deciding how to move forward. But to answer that question and the short answer is debris removal should start by Saturday. Weather depending, we may be able to get some out today, but the truck should start moving on Saturday. Of course, we're going to focus first on vegetative debris. That's the first thing we'll get to. And there'll be multiple passes made to pick this stuff up, because as Ronnie may have mentioned, a lot of this is stuff that has to be grabbed from the right-of-way, and there's only so much extension that can be made to pick those up. So, what we've kind of notified people is 2 piles. You've probably heard this message: 2 piles of the street, your vegetative debris, and then everything else. The everything else is going to take a little longer, because obviously residents will need to get contractors in with equipment to move that debris. They also have the ability to take either one of these things through private contractors to, properly approved disposal sites, landfills, those type places. So there's multiple options on how this stuff's getting out there, but for those who choose to get the debris to the street, that'll start Saturday, and I'd say that process will ramp up next week considerably as more and more trucks get mobilized and on the road. So we should start seeing some action. Again, this is a very large company with a lot of resource, so we're very optimistic on how smoothly this will work. So again, everybody be patient. There will be a hotline that gets published also, so that if you are missed, there's a place to call to let people know. There will also be a portal that'll go live. It'll probably take a week or so, to where the public can log in and see where trucks have picked up, with points of where they've been, kind of breadcrumbs is what I call them, as you see the trucks moving. So those things will take place within the next week. And once I have all that information on how to access that, we'll push that out through our social media as well. I'll try to get it to you guys as well, so that you can follow up on that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I have one question that a lot of people call me about, is just normal trash, normal day pickup stuff that, the normal, just life stuff. Are they, Scott and them, still on kind of somewhat of a schedule? Has all that been just pushed around?
It's been somewhat pushed around. As you know, some of these streets aren't even available, that you can't even access them to get that trash service. Fortunately, we are having ongoing discussions, and I'll follow up to see if they've got anything laid out in concrete, so to speak. I think right now they're still trying to work. They're getting there as quick as they can. Some areas will take longer to get to than others. But I know both, or all of our solid waste haulers are ready to work. But I do expect some delays, and we've asked the public just be patient. Obviously, their phone lines are ringing, things that need to get out immediately. If there's an immediate need, please reach out to them. They can call our office and get with Stan, Reagan, to try to help coordinate that as well. So.
Josh, you mentioned something that I would like to kind of hit on. Properly approved dump sites. What we don't want, the county spends a lot of money every year cleaning up sinkholes that people are using and have used over the years. We don't want all this stuff winding up in sinkholes all over the county. So please, everyone, use the approved dump sites.
Yeah, just to add on that, Mark, building construction, those type things, there's only one way to really properly dispose of that, and that's through a landfill and move through a transfer station. There are some building materials that are allowed to be burnt, but in general, if I was addressing the public in general, to say those need to move through a landfill transfer station. Vegetative debris, depending on where you are, there is a way to burn that. City, county both have different processes for burn permits, but those have to be very clean. If you have a mixture of trees and shingles or trees and drywall, that's a no-no. And you're right, we have received lots of calls already about the concern of tree debris and mixed debris being put in sinkholes, dragged out on people's farms. We understand this is a disaster, and everybody's very interested in getting things cleaned up. But like you said, there's a long-term effect to this. There's long-term maintenance to this that we need to consider. And so that's why we've been a little bit, I won't say slow, but we're methodical in how we move this process ahead.
Let me also tell you that the company that we're contracting with, first thing they ask is, can you give us a list of local contractors for hauling and for tree removal and everything else? They ask, who can we subcontract with? They have plenty of people, but they prefer to subcontract with locals, so.
Just for a frame of reference, and it's public, but Crowder Gulf is the company that will be doing our debris management. They're based out of Mobile, Alabama. 50 years of experience, I think upwards of 450 disasters they've responded to, and I think the number was over 400 million cubic yards of debris removed. This is not, small equipment. This is not skid steers and dump trailers. This is large trucks, 60-yard capacity. There's a proper way to do this, and it's not just an efficiency standpoint. We've also got to know that if we get out there with a lot of stuff and damage our streets, damage sidewalks, damage curbs, those are expenses that the city and county and the state also then have to realize that that's things that we would have to fix later. So all that was considered in moving with a company like this. We spoke to half a dozen of these contractors that do this on a large scale. We spoke to our FEMA representatives. All of these were vetted to be sure that they were legit companies that could provide what we needed and do it quickly, but also in following all of the guidelines for proper disposal, FEMA reimbursement. There's a lot more to this than just your typical pick it up and dump. We know that that's happening, and honestly, that's okay. Those who have the means to hire a contractor locally, dispose of it, please do that. That's clearly within their rights. We caution them to make sure you talk to your insurance companies. Be sure that if you think you're going to need FEMA assistance, that you register for that and document everything that's there. We're doing that for the protection of those homeowners and citizens as well, so that when this is over, they have not lost an opportunity for reimbursement or payback. So,
And they need to take a picture of it.
yes, sir. Yeah. Any other questions now?
Most people know this already, but the federal government is, for I think 21 days, paying for all this, and no cost to the homeowner to get rid of this.
That's not exactly
No,
accurate.
that's not exactly true.
Okay.
That is 100% reimbursement to those responsible. In that case, it's the city, county, state, those municipalities that are actually, this is a reimbursable program. This is not.
We have to pay.
We pay that cost, they reimburse us. This isn't, if everybody's just out doing their own, there is no mechanism for FEMA to come in and write them a check. So that is some misinformation that we have heard out there, and trying to correct that as we
But their
can.
private insurance can.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's an important distinction.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Josh. All right. Are you ready? Okay. All right, we contracted with Vetro Mapping in regard to our broadband. And you all know Brian Mefford, who's here with us today, and he has no plug there. Is that what? I think there's one on the other side here, isn't there?
No, there's not.
Nope. There.
Got it.
Judge and the court, while I'm plugging in here, let me just report on.
I think you found it.
HDMI, if that'll work.
Did you find one?
I just don't know exactly how to broadcast here. Will it pick up automatically? I came over to court this morning from Cumberland Trace, and I don't know if y'all gotten the report there, but probably 300 or so volunteers there this morning at 7:30, streaming in, and probably half the school, 60% maybe, is filled up with supplies and donations. It was like so many have already reported, just remarkable to see that. And Sheriff's Department was doing a fantastic job with traffic flow and volunteer clearance and everything else. So great to start the day that way.
Maybe amount of your internal computer settings.
It's trying. There we go. Thank you, sir. And it's always beautiful when technology works the way we want it. So thank you all for having me back. Bragged on it too soon.
Spoke too soon.
That's right. We are here as a follow-up to the contract with Vetro Fiber Map, and as you guys will recall, this is part of helping organize the county for the execution and successful progress on fiber throughout Warren County. A bit distracted by the flashing screen here, so hopefully we'll be able to make this work. But I'll speak first at a high level, and again applaud this group for leadership. You know, our company works coast to coast on broadband projects at the local level, at the state level, and I can tell you without hesitation that with the vision that you guys have cast for the county, and now what's happening in partnership with local providers, Warren County is easily in the top 5% of counties nationally for broadband projects, fiber-related projects. Now, there is, as you know, the federal government has made money available through the CARES Act and through the ARPA Act, and now the coming Infrastructure and Jobs Act, sufficient to connect every home in the country to fiber optic cable. But that doesn't just happen because the money's there, right? You have to have local leadership, and you have to have willing partners in the provider community. And so with you guys taking the step out there early to help to lock arms with Warren Rural, Cooperative, and other providers, our county's got a great head start on that. You know, the money that's available goes to CapEx, and so it's still risky for those providers to put a 30-year asset on utility poles or in the ground, right? So there's still risk that they have to cover. So again, it requires this kind of partnership that Warren County is modeling. So now coming back to what we have promised to create with Vetro, we have two parts. There's the sort of the public-facing map, and I remember Esquire Young asked this specifically last time I was here. Are we going to have a map that when somebody calls my office, I can give them a website, and that's where they go? And sure enough we do. And I would love to show it to you on this screen because it's beautiful. It's really nice.
It looks great from here.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Just imagine a beautiful map of Warren County. So what the map says is,
I think Chris is working on it, but
okay.
I'm not sure where he is.
So we've got two maps. One is a public-facing map, and so folks can and will be able to go in there and plug in their address, and it will drill in, as you'll see at some point. It will go to that address, and it will show what providers currently offer service there and what service may be coming in the future. It will show them the prices, the publicly advertised prices for those services, and it will give them a web link to click to go directly if they want to go directly to that company to subscribe. So you can imagine somebody moving. Well, I mean, you guys know every scenario, but especially useful for folks who are moving to the community. Obviously, this is on the internet, so they'll be able to check this. They'll be able to check this. wherever they are. The other part of this contract with Vetro is an internal facing map and database. And so this is where, this is all the infrastructure, kind of broadband and telecommunications infrastructure related data is going to be on the county's internal view of this map. And so, utility poles and fiber, wherever it's run, specific lines, service availability, at a view that, sure.
Let's go ahead.
Okay. And
Can you give us the public site, like the www?
we'll be ready to release that officially later today, actually. We expect it to be at connectwarrencounty.com is what we're planning for.
Well, you can just tell us the details of it, Ryan. I mean, sorry about all that, but it's fine. Just what are people going to be able to do, and what is the benefit to the general public?
Yes, so being able to, and we've modified, in light of the damage that's happened, we've modified a bit to be able to also assess right now for down service. So we'll be able to get this address out there later today is the hope, and be able to get a handle on what service is still up and what's down. Our initial scan, probably I guess it was 2 days after Sunday, was the first time we did a kind of walk around to look at telecom infrastructure around the county. Lots, of course, was down. And when you looked at it, and I've kind of got a curse where anytime I look at a utility pole, I see all the communications infrastructure that's on it. And just walking around town, walking around the county and seeing all those down poles, it felt like it would be weeks that service would be out. But that again is a testament to providers. BGMU was right back up lickety split. Warren Rural, I think was never down with their internet service. Spectrum started coming back online in places they were down yesterday. So very, very pleased to report that. But we'll still be able to track those outages. So as I said, the public-facing map, they'll plug in an address. They'll see each company that offers service at their address, what levels of service. So here I've plugged in an address on 3 Springs Road. Service options come up as Spectrum, and 3 different levels of service, from $22.99 for 50 megabits up to 1 gigabit for $105 a month at this particular location on 3 Springs Road. AT&T has DSL service available there. And when I go out to a county address, you're just going to get the same kind of results. Here, I plugged in an Alberton address, and so Warren Rural comes up with plans that are 100 by 100 up to a gigabit, and gigabit at $94.95. So anyway, it shows the competitiveness of the market, and it shows a growing span of new services that are being built throughout the county. On the important point on this part, the public-facing part. They have questions that they're able to answer to help us better understand. So if somebody does not have service, then they're able to come in here and give us their contact information and their address. And so this is going to register as a dot on the map, as a home on the map. And that goes back into your all's internal site. So every time you've got a constituent that calls and registers an interest in service, this goes right on the map. And it also tells us through this questionnaire, and it's brief, it's just a few questions, but it tells us, you know, are they in a single-family home, multi-dwelling unit, asks for the number of school-age children at home, and what else does it ask? And we've added this question: have you experienced some disruption to internet service at this location due to the recent tornado? And the options are yes, internet service is currently down, yes, but internet service has resumed, and no, the internet service remained active. And then they can provide additional comments. This is important too, because we want to be more proactive about making folks in the county aware of programs that are newly available through the last CARES Act, and now it's extended through the Infrastructure and Jobs Act. There is a monthly broadband subsidy that's available that is right now $75 a month, and it will continue indefinitely at $50 a month. And there are multiple qualifiers for that, but one of the qualifiers is qualification for a free and reduced lunch. And so think about that for a moment. That means basically every family in Warren County, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
is eligible for what will be a $50 a month broadband subsidy. I mean, that's a big deal. It's real money. And so we want to make sure we're gathering that kind of information here so we can do proactive outreach to make folks aware of that. That's available right now. What they would do today is, if they have a provider today, they would call them and let them know that they want to take advantage of that program. And the provider, all the local providers are set up to make sure that's happening. And that's $50 off their monthly bill. Last thing I'll mention is on the internal. We get sort of sensitive information from providers that you know, it's not, we can't make publicly available, so we do keep that on the internal version of the map. And what we've been able to see, so we've gathered just a ton of data from all the providers. And so you can come in to your version of this map and click on the service areas for Spectrum and Warren Rural, AT&T and Windstream, and you'll see where those current service areas are. And then, like in Warren Rural's case, where they're announcing that they're building out into new zones, you'll see those zones as available on here. And we've also been able to sort of gut check, if you will, advertised availability data. We've done that a couple different ways. We have a sort of a proprietary database, and this was going to be the dramatic part of this visual presentation this morning, so you just have to trust me on this for now. Yeah. But you see that you see the data that's provided by the FCC, that the providers send, and they say send to the FCC and say this is where we cover, and everybody has all agreed at this point everywhere that that's vastly overstated. If it's based on if they could serve one household in a census block, then the FCC has by definition included that whole census block as served. The other important thing that's changed is they have defined served as can you get 25/3 connection, and that's, as we know now, not adequate to even do a Zoom call, right? So you've got overstated coverage at a level that's lower than what's reasonable. So the federal government, through these recent programs and legislation, has changed the definition of broadband. They've changed it now to what they want to see as 100 by 100 everywhere, which basically means fiber, at a minimum fiber, to every home. And so that's what they've set aside funding for. So we can go in with our data and show where the FCC says there's data, but then we show ours and it basically shows that most of the county is underserved. Basically, where there's not fiber, that's considered underserved. And then we can show that with the plans of Warren Rural and what we understand from Spectrum is happening with extensive investment as well, that we're going to see the county covered with fiber optic cable within the next 24 months. Judge, I think I'll pause there and stop there and just take any questions that the court might have.
Yeah. I think that, of course, I've seen it all, so I can visualize what you're talking about, but perhaps you could come back at another time so that we have everything lined up so all the magistrates could take a look at it, and so that the people at home can see it. There's always a technology stop sign somewhere, and we experienced that today in our I'm not throwing you under the bus, Chris. I'm just saying.
We just need to, it's his computer.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Okay.
Recognize televisions and monitors. It's not plugged into the television.
I got you. Okay.
Manually go into his computer.
Thank you.
Well, and yeah, we'll do that and have this available. Again, this is going to be a publicly available website.
Right.
So folks will have access to that.
That would be how quickly can you share that so we can get it out? So that's the question everybody wants to know. We know it's gonna work. How soon can we get that information to publicize that public site as soon as possible?
I want you all to be able to have that for a couple days and get feedback to us. So let's plan for a Monday live launch once you guys have provided some feedback.
Brian, I have one question for you. Is it the FCC that regulates and overlooks the amount of broadband connectivity? Like, let's say you buy 100 to 100. All right, do they monitor that to make sure you're actually getting your 100 to 100? Or could you possibly be paying for a gigabyte and only be getting 0.2 gigabytes? So you see what I'm saying? Is there a mechanism to make sure people are getting what they're paying for?
Unfortunately, there's not much of there's not much regulation.
The only reason I mention that is because many times whenever I've done a tally to see how much broadband connectivity I have with doing it through Spectrum or AT&T, very often it's way below what they're actually paying for, what the actual package in person.
Right.
See, most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I just wondered, who is actually overseeing the retail part of that to make sure a person that pays for something gets what they're paying for?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely ways to register complaints through the FCC. There's not a lot of teeth that they have as a regulatory body to do much about that. Although there have been successful lawsuits by the FCC against certain providers for that very thing on a broad scale. But it's really, your question illustrates why this kind of tool is so important for individuals. I mean, individuals, homes, every citizen needs to have the ability to do exactly what you're saying, check this, and then now they can come back to the court basically and register that, and we've got a view of that countywide.
Gotcha.
I mean, we'll be able to see when they put their address in there and they do a speed test and they tell us who the provider is. We'll have that information coming into this map, and then the fact that there is now alternative services becoming available. People voting with their wallets is the best regulator.
Yeah, and everyone can monitor it from their home, test it from their home.
Yeah, that's right.
Individually.
That's right.
And they can make the complaints, but it has to be done individually. And there are free apps on the Apple that you can access, everyone can access, and if anyone needs that help, I assume we can probably put that on the website as well, couldn't we?
We can, and we'll have that actually automatically built in here too, so that
Okay.
they'll be able to
Good.
do that from within the site. I mean, as this says on the first page, this effort is about giving every person in Warren County a voice on this matter, and so your action as a court has done just that. I mean, this tool, and it's going to be a powerful tool in the hands of everybody to really paint the accurate picture and to help. Also, you know, this is not meant to be punishing to our providers. You know, this will be helpful information for them to see, you know, where pockets of demand are springing up, and you know, every road in the county, every home in the county is going to ultimately get connected to fiber, but you know, how that happens and when that happens, you know, can be informed by a tool like this.
Great. I've seen it, so I can say without, maybe the others can't, but it's really looks to me like it's going to be very, very helpful. And I look forward to you coming back and sharing that with the rest of them again sometime, not necessarily next time, but we do have someone, I believe, coming from Spectrum to report where they are on the RDOF next meeting, which is January 7th. But, and if not, we'll get them at the next meeting. But we would like to know where they are on that. We've had a report from RECC on their status, but perhaps we're going to get another report from them in a week or two or three on what their status is, not only on the RDOF, but on their grant-funded countywide delivery of the services. But while I'm here, I see that one of the people on Zoom is Kim Phelps. I'm not going to put her on the spot for the where we are on the broadband expansion, but I would like to go ahead and see if Kim, if you're interested in sharing where you all are with the utilities. I know getting the power back on to 25,000 people was a task. If you'd like to share anything, I'll give you the floor now.
Good morning. I'll see if I can get myself
All right.
on video here.
Okay.
There.
Hi, Kim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm happy to report that we have been able to restore. I believe we were at 28,000 to begin with. We're happy to report that we've been able to restore all of our storm-related outages. So all of our members who were impacted by the storm are back up and running today. And I would like to thank you guys, the community, our members. We've just had a whole lot of cooperation, hard work, and a little good weather that has helped us out, and we're doing well today.
And I wanted to say thank you to all the men and women at RECC for the hard work that you guys have put into this. I know that there were a lot of prayers going out. It's amazing how many residents we've had throughout the county and throughout the city limits that have been without power. And we had a couple of really cold nights. So I appreciate the fact that you all were able to get this done. I know BGMU is not quite finished. I don't know what their numbers are this morning, but they're still working around the clock, and they have multiple crews out working with them. I talked with Mark Iverson last night, and he said that they're still working people from all around this part of the nation. Many crews are out of Georgia who've come up here as mutual aid to help us with restoring power. There's a little different challenge in the city than there is out in the rural areas, in that there's a little more destruction, direct destruction of the tornado in the city limits, I mean, multiple areas. I can't speak for all the destruction. Trees are down everywhere, but I know that in the city, one of the things they've had to contend with are the people who want to go see the problem, and they've backed up traffic and utilities and tree trimmers and volunteers. No one can get down a street, so it's slowed down their ability to get a lot of things done. But and they've run into supply chain problems with transformers and other things. But anyway, your all's help has been extraordinarily valuable. It was roughly about half the number of people throughout the county that in the rural areas are now on. We want to thank RECC and all of not only all of your all's workers, but all of the many, many people who came in from around this area of the country as well for RECC as mutual aid. They really made a difference in a lot of people's lives for this Christmas season. And I know Mark is shooting for trying to get everyone back back online and with power in the city by Christmas, but they're just unable to promise that at this point. They're promising that they're trying, but anyway, we're very fortunate to have two great utility companies here that have really gone to bat 24 hours a day for the last week. And thank you to all of you all, Kim.
Thank you, and we appreciate all of your help as well. So thank you so much, and we are very proud, very happy to have everybody back on, and proud of our members. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Kim. Tell everyone out there how much we appreciate it. Okay, and now that the power's back on in the county and most of it's back on in the city, getting the internet back on to those same customers is not going as quickly as we would like for it to, as anyone would like for it to, but I'm hoping to get a report from Spectrum and Windstream and AT&T in the next day or two, and try to pinpoint the areas that they need to be working on, the areas that where we can help them.
Yeah. And that's what we'll be able to gather that at a household level with this tool too, to help with that.
Yeah.
We do understand from BGMU that they were able to restore their main line to the internet.
Right.
And Warren Rural basically never lost broadband service where they're built.
Yeah, thank
so
God.
That's kind of phenomenal. I mean, broadband is a lot like electric. I mean, there's transmission lines that, you may be on the other side of the county that could impact where you are. So it's remarkable that they didn't go down.
Yeah, one of the areas right where the main trunk line was for BGMU is one of the hardest hit areas in Bowling Green.
I would leave with this recommendation, Judge, that with FEMA on the ground and with the amount of destruction we've had to the infrastructure, we should use the opportunity to really dig in deep to an additional assessment, like making sure we understand, where all of our communications infrastructure is throughout the county, and figuring out how we can harden that wherever we can. That those funds are available to us as a county, so we should take advantage of that.
I agree. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you being here.
Brian.
Thank you for your report. It's Josh. All right, we're going to get back on task here with our agenda. Item number 9 is to approve second and final reading of Ordinance 2163, rezoning property located at 0 Scottsville Road from agriculture to a single-family residential containing approximately 61.6652 plus or minus acres and presently owned by Wilson Family Trust. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Gorman. Any discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. All righty, item number 10 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2159, amending the budget of Warren County.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Gorman, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
Lawrence. Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve first reading of ordinance 2164, rezoning property located at 10166, a portion of, and 10166 Unit B, Louisville Road, from agriculture to residential estate and rural residential, containing approximately 3.72 plus or minus acres and presently belonging to the estate of Virginia Robertson. Jennifer White is the executrix.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions?
If Ben's on, I have a question for him, just for clarity.
Ben? Ben, are you on there? Ben Peterson.
Yes, sir.
All right.
My question, Ben, is only 5 voting on it. Is there a quorum minimum for, it's 5, and I just want to make sure, only 5 people saw this.
Yeah.
Are we meeting statutorily requirement of minimum amount of folks on the commission?
Yes, sir. 5 is the quorum.
That's all we need.
All right.
8 total votes now with the new agreement, so 5 is the majority, so that is a quorum.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 12 is to approve determination in the amount of $3,617.84 to Brown Equipment Company for repairs to the I-65 slope mower. The mower was damaged by a metal highway signpost, and the state had cut off and left it in the ground, so we found it for them.
Yes.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve determination in the amount of $1,790.44 to the Louisville Courier-Journal for legal advertisement and public notice for Warren County Solid Waste RFP.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings and second by Squire McWhorter. Any discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 14 is to approve determination in the amount of $1,285 to the Tennessean for legal advertising, public notice, Warren County, Kentucky, solid waste RFP.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Alcott, do you or Mr. Reagan have anything you want to share with us today about where we are on that, or is it you are just here in case there are questions, or?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm glad to be back here in front of this body. Here because the Solid Waste Committee is going to be meeting after this meeting to kind of talk about the RFP process. The determinations were for legal advertisements to widen our reach. Just want to make sure that everybody who might have an interest in what we are going to be deciding in the RFP has an ample opportunity. So I look forward to working with the committee after the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Item number 15 is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $7,142.01 to Boyd Cat for repairs to a valve in the transmission of the cat grader for the road department.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 16, grant authority to advertise for home incarceration vehicles for the Warren County Regional Jail. Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 17 is to approve the Warren County Regional Jail's sick leave donation policy.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young, second by
Second.
Squire McWhorter. Jailer Harmon, do you want to advise us on this, or any questions you have or direction?
Judge, we're looking at this policy based on one of our employees who's been out several months with cancer doing chemo treatments. Our current policy doesn't allow for employees who have a lot of sick time to donate to him. What it allows is you can donate your time, but he doesn't get paid. That only allows him to maintain his insurance. And I think in a time where it's hard to recruit people, we've got to look at ways to help take care of our employees. And so I'm doing this within my operation at the jail.
Okay.
Good idea.
No one have any other questions, or?
Great idea.
Yeah, it's good, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you. No other questions, please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 18 is to approve the 2022 Warren County Clerk's budget.
So moved, McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter. Motion, second by Squire Young. Assume the treasurer's looked this over and understands the implications.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No other questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 19, approve 2022 budget for the Warren County Sheriff's Department.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Lawrence. Same question, Mr. Treasurer, everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No comments, please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes,
Esquire
ma'am.
Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 20 is to approve budget transfers for Warren County.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter,
So,
second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 21 is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $11,700 to Boyd Cap for 3 grapples for the skid steers, and these will be used for emergency relief cleanup.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence. Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 22 is to approve the purchase of 5 vehicles for the Drug Task Force, 2 Ford F-150 pickups and 2 Ford Explorers from the Kentucky State contract, price contract from Paul Miller Ford, and 1 Dodge Durango from Freedom Dodge at Kentucky State price contract, and the total of the vehicles will be $180,269 and will be paid for with funds from forfeited vehicles. It's no cost to the general fund of Warren County, and these vehicles will be used for investigative purposes.
So moved.
Motion by, who said that? Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Cummings. Any comments, Mr. Loving?
Attaboy.
With everything going on, I hate to even do this today, but Dodge we may or may not be getting the Durango. Dodge closed the window after about 10 days. They've tried to submit it, so I've got it on here for approval in case it goes through. If not, we may be back. Dodge went up $7,000 to $9,000 per vehicle this year, given the state of the automotive industry.
Yeah.
Ford went up about $4,000 2 years ago, and they haven't gone up that much, so we're going back to Ford. As much money as this is and saving some money, but that's kind of the method to the madness. They're also saying 5 to 6 months delivery where it used to be 12 weeks. So I think you've asked before about our auction will probably be now at least midsummer.
Okay.
And I just want to, being a cop all these years, give a big shout out, and I'm sure the sheriff will talk about it, but all the police agencies and sheriff's departments across the state came in here and helped and whatnot, and I'll stop and thank every one of them and appreciate it. And I'm not too far from you, and my lights aren't on, but BGMU's working hard, and they're doing a great job out there.
They are doing a great job, and it's amazing how things come from different
bridge,
areas and everything around you. Well, actually, over in the other direction toward the bypass is not.
The Potter Gray end of Wakefield's up.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I'm not complaining because I know they're working hard. So.
They are. They truly are.
But
thank you, Mr. Loving.
yeah.
Any
No other
questions?
I will sit down and be quiet.
Thanks, Tommy. There are no other questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, item number 23 is to approve first reading of Ordinance 2165, establishing Drakes Boulevard, Driftwood Court, Nash Stone Court, Old Post Drive, Pebblestone Lane, Pebblestone Court, Hallowstone Court, Creekstone Lane, and Sandy Creek Court, located in Drake's Ridge subdivision, subdivisions 1A, 1B, and 3 as county roads, and further setting the maintenance thereon and setting speed limits thereon.
Motion.
All these roads sounded exactly alike to me. Motion by Squire Cummings, a second by Squire Gorman. Any questions? Anyone else want to read that more plainly than I did?
And there is no item 24 because it's the same.
I see that.
But yes.
All righty. No further questions, please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
You all already indicated there's item number 24. There is no item number 24. It's just mistakenly put on there. Item number 25 is to approve easement for school bus turnaround at 670 Hayes Road. It says for Timmy Norris. It's not for Timmy Norris. It's for the school district, but the school district requested, but that's actually where his home is.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 26 is to approve a lease to be made effective as of the 17th of December 2021, the effective date by and between Martin Marietta Materials, a North Carolina corporation, Martin Marietta, the Warren County Fiscal Court, and of Bowling Green, Kentucky, next to the tenant next to the old salt barn. Now, do you want to kind of explain that to them, Sarah? This is
I believe it's that old rock quarry.
it's the old rock quarry. We're utilizing that. I guess I'll just go ahead. Martin Marietta Materials owns that old rock quarry next to the salt barn there. We're utilizing the rock quarry and we're utilizing our property for staging for some of the debris removal. And would you like to add to that, Mr. Moore?
No, sir. I think everybody knows that the county has a tract of land where the salt barn is. We're surrounded by property owned by Martin Marietta. We already have an agreement, or I say we, the Sheriff's Department has an agreement. They use the actual quarry itself for shooting range. But in the county, road department has been allowed to do some staging of materials there. We will be using some of this property for the open burning of the tree debris. But Martin Marietta has also allowed us to use areas outside of the quarry itself for some staging. And this is just an agreement, one, so that our representatives at FEMA and Division of Waste Management and all those that will be looking at what we're doing understand that there is a formal agreement. There's no cost to the county. This is just a short-term lease to allow us to use this for debris cleanup.
I think all of you all understand, don't you? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve this lease? Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
Lawrence. Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
Gorman.
And then item number 27 is to approve emergency agreement for disaster debris monitoring services.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, item number 28 is to approve emergency response cost-sharing agreement with the city. Motion by Squire Young,
Second.
second by Squire McWhorter. Any discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 29 is to approve contract for disaster recovery services. Motion by Squire Cummings, Second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions?
I do have one question, Judge.
Yes, sir.
You said that local contractors would be able to sign up to work with Crowder Gulf. What is the number or whatever they call to get that actual connection?
That'd be Josh Moore.
At this time, I don't think they know how many they need. To be quite honest, we're pushing them pretty hard because of this 100% reimbursement window. They do have a spot right now, if you go to Crowder Gulf's website, where as subcontractors, you can fill out information about your company to get on their list. I'd encourage everybody to do that. Whether or not they will need those services or not is still to be determined. They need to get their feet wet, see how the process is going to work, and see what's the most efficient way to do it. But yeah, if you go directly to Crowder Gulf's website, and I don't know the website right off the top of my hand, first thing on there is subcontractor sign up.
I've looked at it. Is there a local telephone number or anything we can?
No, they have not set one up yet, and I honestly don't know if they will, but I can keep in touch with them for you guys as well.
Appreciate
Yeah, and everyone understands that 30-day window that we're pushing so hard for.
That's 21 now.
Pardon me?
21 now.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. We had the first 30 days since the day of the declaration.
It's 12.
So we're down to about 3 weeks now. The president signed an order saying that FEMA would reimburse us. Ordinarily, they reimburse us up to 75%, and then there's a split in local governments. But for the first 30 days, really we have 3 weeks left, since we're just getting started. We have 3 weeks to fall under a 100% reimbursement from FEMA. And so that's the reason we're working so fast and trying to get this underway and get as much completed as we can in the next 3 weeks.
And just so you guys know, you'll see a number of contracts that'll come through that we're approving. There's a contract with Tetra Tech that will be coming just to be clear, the administration of the FEMA grants, those are always 100% FEMA reimbursable. So all of the contracts to Tetra Tech that will be handling all of the payroll and all of the labor and equipment and things that we do, those are always 100% reimbursable through FEMA. So that does not expire after the 30-day window, but the primary things that will expire for the 30-day window is the debris management contract and the debris removal services. So that's why we're working so hard on those.
Have they indicated they're going to, Christmas, how they're going to?
We briefly spoke the other day. Likelihood that they will take off Friday and Saturday just for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and then they'll be right back to work. But they've got, some of their employees are 800-900 miles away. They don't necessarily want to drive back and forth. They're here to work, and we want them to work, but we also want to be mindful of it is Christmas, and they deserve a day off with their families as well. So, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Moore? Okay. We're on number 29? 30. Next item is to approve Disaster Recovery Center agreement and grant authority to Ronnie Pearson, Emergency Management Director, to execute. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, will the treasurer please present the claims to court?
General Fund, $13,315,486. Road Fund, $57,534. Jail Fund, $302,846. And Stormwater Fund, $35,621. Be happy to answer any questions.
Make a motion, we pay the claims as submitted.
Motion by Squire Young to pay claims as submitted, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire
Yes, ma'am.
McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sheriff Hightower, I know you've been busy. What can you tell us or ask us or what? Whatever.
I just want to thank y'all. The efforts and the people we have in place within this community are unbelievable. They're the right people at the right time. And I want to thank everybody for answering the phone calls, because I was getting a ton of them. And I was having to call you all and ask things, and from our parks and Chris and from Josh and from Ronnie, emergency management. I mean, we need 10 of him, and there was only one of them. But I can't thank y'all enough for everything. Just take care of this community.
Thank you for everything that you and your department are doing. It's totally invaluable. I appreciate, and everyone throughout the community appreciates it.
And our teachers, they need a big shout out. Unbelievable. That's. I don't want to get in their way. I tell you, they'd run us over. But they've done phenomenal stuff for them and loved on this community in an amazing way. And the volunteers and just everybody. It's a great place to live.
It is.
So,
Truly is. It's a remarkable
Unless anybody has
place.
any questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Ms. Yates?
Thank you, Judge. With the sheriff, our community is amazing. It warms my heart. I'm so glad to be from Bowling Green and the South. And if there's anything my staff that we can do, we're here for you. We're praying for everyone. We were very fortunate. I'm happy to say 29 employees. Most everyone had very minimal damage. Everyone, power's back on. It's just amazing how everybody comes together, and it's great. So if there's anything the clerk's office can do, just give us a call. Glad to help.
Thank you very much. And I know you all have stayed right at it all throughout this. Even one day we didn't have any access to the internet, but I appreciate the hard work y'all have done and the commitment to getting things out. It's been, and you're right, it has been heartwarming to see how people have come together, how many volunteers have come out to help their neighbors, and how many people who are neighboring counties and cities who've come to help. It does restore your faith in humanity when you see the people who've come together just to help those in need. But we appreciate all of it. Jailer Harmon? Mr. Comer, I know you've been busy.
I just wanted to say just a couple things, Judge. During my time here with Warren County government, going on 22 years, we've had 3 different occurrences, 2 natural disasters and 1 internal disaster. And for all 3 of those, the flood in 2010, the fire in 2013, and now the tornado of 2021, on all 3 occasions, a lot of people may not know this, but staff members and fellow department heads, that some are sitting behind me, some of them aren't here, in each one of those circumstances, they actually gave me their shirts off their back, and literally their shirts off their back. About 30 minutes after the event of Friday night, Josh Moore, our Public Works Director, was on our street. We were communicating via the radio. We were trying to communicate with our park staff. On Friday night, we had all 8 shelters throughout the county. We had hundreds of people in the shelters. I want to commend our park staff that were in difficult situations that none of them have ever been into. Families crying, kids crying, people worried, pets in the shelters, and just an upsetting night like everybody had. I want to commend them. And I also want to commend every department head that is here, every department head that is not here. From Stephen Harmon's crew on Saturday morning that we were passing on the street saying, "Hey, Chris, what can we do to help?" From Sheriff Hightower's deputies, I don't even think he knows, "Hey, Chris, y'all good? Everything good? Y'all need any help?" To Josh Moore walking the streets of Covington with me on Saturday morning, Friday night, trying to help out. And not one of the best moments that Chris Comer's ever had. And so I just want to thank the county department heads and county government. You always want to try to work for a team that is going to be there with you no matter what. And I'm proud to work for county and for the other department heads behind me and the ones that aren't here. They're truly committed to serving the citizenship here. They have hearts of gold, and there's no better group that I would want to serve with. With that being said, on Friday night, we had all 8 shelters within Warren County full, some more than others. One notable situation was at Ephraim White Park during the height of the storm. It took 3 grown people to shut that door as people were screaming and trying to come into the shelter. And I commend the park staff beyond words for their being put into situations to where those shelters are open every time we have a tornado watch. For many, many years they've been open, and the general public may or may not have known that they're there. And we will continue to be there, and we will continue to be there to serve on those not so great days. On Saturday morning, we started assessments in all the parks locations. We were blessed that the park itself, all 38 properties, had minimal damage. We had some trees down, etc. Those were cleaned up. We did have some staff that had damages to their homes, that had some personal things going on because of the storm. We allowed everybody time to regroup, take care of their families, secure their homes, and secure their families. We opened up shortly after that. We formulated strike teams, 3 teams, and over the course of several days, we went to Crescent Street, Whispering Hills, and Nutwood, and then trying to get our parks back up and going. We also, during the last week, conducted a Feed America program, 2 of those at Ephraim White Park, and we served over 1,500 meals. We also served yesterday at Michael Buchanan Park 200 meals, gave 100 boxes to the Synergy Center at Cumberland Trace Elementary School for public distribution, and then 100 to the most impacted families at Jennings Creek. We were contacted by the Kentucky Department of Health several days ago due to a COVID case at Jennings Creek. They had requested 1,000 KN95 masks. We responded with 1,000 KN95 masks and have delivered 1,000 more today to Lowe's Volunteer Center and FEMA Center at the Sears Building. We also, they had requested 10 sanitizing units that we had from the pandemic, and we assisted in providing the sanitizing units and supplies to keep those going. We also were contacted on Saturday by Emergency Management. They've requested our assistance, and we appreciate the support of Sunbelt Rentals in getting light towers expeditiously to 3 locations in the Moss Creek area, Jennings Creek area, and then at Cabell, 14th Street, and University Drive. And we've been maintaining those both AM, PM, filling those up for all the different emergency services, and we'll continue to do that until those areas open up. We had 3 strike teams that were assembled to basically 5-person cutting teams that we put out throughout the community, and we basically just went to places and asked people if they needed help, and we just started cutting up trees. We also cleaned up the I-65 corridor, trying to help our friends at Kentucky Department of Transportation on exit 28, exit 30, and the Operation Pride properties along Louisville Road, where there was about 500 feet of fencing that was taken out by the storm. We've also assisted with the Moss Middle School and Jennings Creek food distribution and volunteer coordination. We attended the volunteer coordination meeting yesterday at the library. We'd like to give a huge shout out to Courtney Stevens and the Warren County Bowling Green Public Library for their efforts in coordinating volunteer responses throughout the county. We also were called upon yesterday to help set up the FEMA Center. We have crews out there yesterday and today. We've set up all the tables, chairs. We're working with the FEMA rep there. We've brought in 3 portable restroom facilities, hand sanitizing stations for the outside lines, and we're currently in the process of setting up a separate volunteer parking lot and a FEMA response citizen parking lot. We've also, we still have park operations going on, so we had 3 events scheduled this weekend to free up hotel space for our citizens that don't have lodging. We contacted all 3 tournament groups. One group is not going to have their tournament this weekend, but is going to make it up after the first year. The other 2 tournament groups, a basketball group and an archery group, were able to talk to their constituents, and they've all found housing in other counties surrounding Warren, and those 2 events will still be going on, with the basketball tournament being a fundraiser for storm recovery. Our Parks Department, we stand ready to help out in any way. We're committed to Warren County and the citizens here. We've reached out to multiple people seeing if they need help, and we're available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day to help with the recovery of our community. And we appreciate y'all's support.
Chris, you've done more than could be expected of you, and more than I thought was possible. All of our team, you're right, we have extraordinary people on the county team, and everyone helps each other in a normal day. But it's made me particularly proud during this response how willing everyone is to go the extra mile for everyone else. And I want to tell you that, of course, I know you've been out to the Jennings Creek, all of you have been out to the Jennings Creek shelter where they're actually interviewing people with FEMA and so forth. They're out there right now. I was out there yesterday, and I talked to a number of the people with the American Red Cross. One guy said, I've been to 37 different communities. He said, you got the nicest people here in Bowling Green, Kentucky that I've ever run into. And then I heard that similar comments from every single person I talked to out there. And they were reflecting not only the individuals who they're serving, but those individuals within the city and county who've actually been out there to support them as well. And they're talking about you guys. So I just want y'all to know how much people notice how helpful and willing you are to help them. If people from out of town, one lady told me if she gets to move anywhere else from where she lives now, she wants to move to Bowling Green, Kentucky. So just know that you're ambassadors to the world with what you're doing and your natural attitudes toward doing it. So thank you. Mr. Moore?
Spent more time up here today than I've spent in however many years I've been here. Just want to add one thing, and to echo what Chris has said. Every employee that we have has given all that they can give, but there's a group of people that we don't talk about that are doing just as much, the families of our employees. It's amazing to see wives, husbands, children right alongside our employees working in the community. It's a great lesson to teach our kids, and I think it does show to everybody that, what a wonderful group of people we do have here in Warren County. Just want to say that just because they're a group that never gets the pats on the backs. So
I totally agree with you, and I've seen that so many times from volunteering at the ballparks to out on the roads recently, and all these people that were making extraordinarily complimentary comments about the people of Bowling Green and Warren County, they were talking about those same type things.
exactly. We've got a lot to be proud of and a lot to be thankful for. So
thank you very much. Thank you so much. Mr. Pearson is gone for obvious reasons. Mr. Loving is not. Ms. Lewis, thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Good to see you all. I just wanted to let everybody know that myself and my staff has been out in the field since Saturday as well.
I've seen you.
Oh, yeah. We've been going door to door, speaking to property owners, taking note of the damages and taking pictures. If you see us out, we will have logo gear. Myself and my staff will also have door hangers, just letting people know our phone number and what we need from everyone. We are taking these notes so that we can adjust property assessments for the 2022 tax year. One thing that we realized was that mailing addresses. A lot of these displaced homes or people that are displaced from their homes, we don't know where they're going to be. So if you all speak to people, please tell them to contact our office once they know where they'll be.
Right.
Okay.
We will do that. Thank you so much for all your extra effort on this and all of the people in your office.
Yeah.
Susan, I heard you on the radio, and I think you should mention, or I'll mention, that if people have cars that are torn up,
Yes.
they need
we'll
to
have know
contact
that.
you
Yes.
to stop the taxes on those, or
Right.
we'll let you explain.
Yeah, so we are responsible for all real estate as well as motor vehicles. And there has been a lot of motor vehicles that have been damaged. So we will need to know if a vehicle has been totaled so that we can take that off the tax roll.
I'm sure trailers.
Trailers, motor
Also.
vehicles, tangibles, once we get into that. So it's gonna affect every single part of what we do. So mailing addresses is very important. We'll be sending communications out just to update you all on how we're gonna handle this, so.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
absolutely.
Appreciate it, Susan.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Contractors Licensing Board is going to be really, really busy for some time to come, but I know you're going to have a lot of people sneaking into town, and maybe you've got something that you can share with us today, Bob?
Well, they're just beginning to get here. And, you know, most contractors are good, hard-working people, but we got a few coming into town, and maybe here, that's not always the case. What I would recommend to everybody listening to us, is go to our Facebook page or go to bgky.org, Contractors Licensing, and check your contractor if you happen to hire one or think about hiring one, and get the information. If you don't, you've got to have a licensed contractor. I mean, that's just necessity. That's just common sense. But if you can't get it done that way, call us at the board. Our number is 270-781-3530. And our Facebook page has a lot of good information on it in case you need some tips on what you should do and what you should look at for a contract and everything. It's some suggestions. We'd love to work with the people. We got about 2,900 contractors licensed, and but we need probably more right now at this stage of the game. So we want to welcome them in, but they have to do what everybody else has to do. They have to be legal, licensed with insurance. So just check us out. Go to our Facebook page, do the Twitter, and I think you'll find a lot of good information on that. Right now, it's just begun to start, and I know that one insurance company sent me some cards that they had, and it was sent me 3 cards, and all 3 of them wasn't licensed. So you know, there'll be a lot of them that'll be coming into town. And you have to watch what you do. Don't sign any contracts until you check, make sure that they're all right.
Yeah.
But
It's amazing how many of them don't have even general liability insurance, but they don't have workers' compensation. You're really risking a great deal by hiring these people, and they have to have both if they're licensed here in Bowling Green, Warren County, right?
But they have to have workers' comp if they've got employees.
Right.
What you want to watch, and you know, we got some that we've had reports that have come in and they said, well, I don't have everything, but said if you'll hire me, I'll cut you a check for so many dollars, or it'd be a lot cheaper, or I get you first on the list, that type of thing. And it's all kinds of cons go on, but if you're not sure your contractor, call us. We can help you on things like that, and we'd love to do it. We want to do it. And anybody got any questions?
I remember during the 98 hailstorm, we had people coming in here, tree trimmers, roofers, gutters people, and they'd say, if you give me $500 now or 50% now, I'll get it done for you, and you'll be the next one. We'll be here tomorrow. You should never pay anybody up front.
Never.
Particularly if there's someone you don't know and trust. But I would never pay anyone up front until the job's done. You shouldn't be paying them because factually they won't come back. I'd say 9 times out of 10 you'll never see them again, and their money will be in Texas or New Mexico or somewhere else. So try to deal with reputable contractors. We always have them come in on any natural disaster. They come in and they really prey on people who are emotionally involved or the elderly. They take advantage of older people and not only stick it to them and charge them more than they should have been charged by or would have been charged by a local contractor, but many times you never get the work done at all.
Well, a lot of people are hurting right now, and they do want to, get their roof on, so it's easier to take advantage of it right now. But in the long haul, you'd be better off to get somebody that's legit, that's got all their insurance, got all their credentials and everything. It just pays off. I think Doug, he's on our board. He's seen some real horror stories that people that didn't do what they're supposed to do.
Unbelievable, too.
At the very least, they need to call your office.
270-781-3530.
Absolutely. You've got some busy weeks coming up.
Yeah, it's going to get really, I imagine it'll get a lot busier.
Yeah.
They just now begin to come in.
Right. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for all you do. Mr. Peterson, are you still on here? Ben's had to leave. Mr. Markram? Thank you for all you do. Again, I want to thank all of our department heads. Stan, you're here for the meeting after, right? Okay. But thank you all for all the hard work y'all are putting into getting this overdue contract rebid. Squire Lawrence?
Yeah, Judge, I'd just like to commend and thank everybody, all of our department heads. I think you're doing a great job. I know you're putting your heart and soul into every single bit of it. And I also want to thank the rest of Fiscal Court for all the hard work you're doing. Everybody's receiving hundreds of telephone calls, texts, and it's hard to really keep up with, all of the complete, deluge of communication that comes to you. I've had the pleasure to work with literally hundreds of volunteers since this has taken place, and everybody's acted so good, been so thankful. So I've been so thankful everybody's helpful and doing good. I got the opportunity to work a whole day with Doug Gorman over there, Manager Doug Gorman. He was out cutting trees down with chainsaw. We were both working together. He was doing a good job. He didn't even have any fancy socks on or anything. He was over there, like a normal person, But I'd like to say that, we do have a fantastic team, and I value each and every one of you guys out there, and just please keep up the good work. I'm really proud to be part of this team.
Thank you, Squire Lawrence. Squire Gorman?
Judge, we'll keep it short, but just so thankful for our emergency management, our sheriff, our public works, our parks, but also keep these line crews in your thoughts and prayers, both BGMU and Warren Electric, but fortunate to be out there yesterday. But we probably don't want to know how much duct tape they use, but an insane job if you looked around the damage, and for these guys to be able to piece back together electricity. I know some people still don't have it, but they are working 24/7 to get that on, and doing such a great job. I had a great day with Master Lawrence doing a lot of work out there, so that's been great. A lot of businesses that are hurting, a lot of people are hurting, and so a couple things. One, just still be in prayer for all the families that have a lost loved one. Their lives will be changed forever. But also, in the worst of times, what you see in this county is the greatest of people coming out, and such an overwhelming thing. It is a great time at this Christmas season to see the true, the spirit of brotherhood of the people that are coming together. So I'm just blessed to be in this community, and anyone that's a resident of Warren County is a blessed person. Thanks, Judge.
Okay. Squire Cummings?
I want to kind of just echo what's already been said, and we can't thank people enough for what's been done. And it's hard to single out one person without acknowledging all the others. Well said by Josh, with the family members not being recognized. I think that's important because we are a family, and we're so blessed to live where we live. Kind of remind anybody that's listening, we are in day 6 of the worst natural disaster that ever happened in Warren County. And so much work's been done. The people who come in, I've talked to, who come in, who assessed us, says we're so far ahead of other communities they've gone to. And it's because the spirit of volunteerism and things that's happened in our community so far that I expect to continue. So my thoughts and wishes and well wishes for everybody that's been part of that, the volunteer coordinators who have coordinated the things that took place so far and that will take place beyond this day. But this is a marathon. This is not going to go over. 2 weeks from now, it's going to be gone away. This is a marathon, and we're in day 6, day 7 now. So I want to thank everybody for what they've done, but also take just a side moment to remember that Christmas is a week from tomorrow, and
this happened at a terrible time, but it's important for us still to remember the reason for the season and to latch on to your family. Because Doug said it right, we are fortunate and blessed, but a lot of families lost people. And so I would say, talk to everybody to encourage them to latch on to their loved ones, to not be afraid to tell them and your friends that you love them, because that's important as we move forward. So Merry Christmas to Warren County, Merry Christmas to my friends on this court, because we have great leadership in place, and I just want us to continue the course to do what we've been doing to help get the community moving forward, because they're going to rely on us more now than they ever have. So we're thankful for the group of people we have, the team that we have that works for us, and I just want to say thanks to everybody that's reached out so far. So thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
And I think closing, this is the closing.
I'm
I
s-
got left off.
Well, we'll get you.
Are you all through?
Come forward, I can't hear you.
Are you all closing the?
Well, we will in a few
the
minutes,
court?
but.
Well, somehow I got left off. I was
Oh.
going to talk about animal control laws.
Okay.
And if you wouldn't mind, I appreciate you all listening. I found out where to come, that where you can get something done is here. But what started this, how I got here in June, my horse got attacked by a Rottweiler and got torn up and bitten, and it was awful. And the dog looked like this, you know, it's big teeth, and I'm seeing it out the window, hearing the snarling, and she comes up to the barn light, and I had to go out and run the dog off of her. And so this was traumatic and awful, but I found out that there was two dogs, a Rottweiler and a Pit Bull, that had been running loose at different times for a year. And the animal control had been called, and they didn't have the laws to pick up the dogs, because when they would get there, the dogs would be gone, or they didn't, if you don't see the dog bite somebody. And so the horse finally got bitten, I guess, for something to get done. And this had gone on for a year, and I have some of the calls that they called in and said 2 dogs at this location are trying to attack people. One is a Rottweiler and the other is a Pit Bull. They're ongoing problem. We talked to the owner. They won't keep them up. They're getting out from an old wooden fence underneath. People are, they're reporting this on Neighborhood Watch. They're calling animal control, no help, and they're afraid that they're going to attack children and adults, you know, besides animals. This is off of Louisville Road on Norman Lane. And there is this huge neighborhood subdivision, North Ridge, where this was. And there's like 500 houses. So if a child had gotten killed, I don't think they could live with it. But nothing could be done, I found out, and that's why I'm here today. I talked to the sheriff and my magistrate, and they want to change the laws because they haven't been changed since we lived, you know, so far away. But now we're so close. And Kentucky is about 45th in their laws, that we're that low where, you know, they haven't been changed. And so I'm just asking for people to help think about updating our laws, because on the Nextdoor app, there's been people on Detour Road in Witt talking in September, November, December about being out walking, and they got bit by a dog coming after them. This really nice guy said the owner helped him pay for the medical conditions, but now he'd like to ride his bike. But there's 5 dogs coming after him. And another person said they had their dog on a leash walking, but another dog loose attacked their dog and almost killed it. So now they have to carry a gun. And so that's what animal control told me, that I could shoot the dog. But it was at 3:30 in the morning, and I couldn't even see, but I could hear, and I did see the Rottweiler, but I didn't see the Pit Bull. So I took them to small claims to get the vet bills. The vet had to come 3 times. Her back legs were torn up. Her face was bit, under her neck was bit, and the artery is right here. So she's in a pasture by herself. And
I feel like they knew that they could do this, and,
Are you Miss Barnett?
no, Joyce Upchurch.
Oh, okay, okay.
But someone else was supposed to come
Okay.
and talk about dogs loose in their neighborhood, but it's just, they're running, and animal control can't do anything, and so to help animals and people, we need better laws.
I received a letter in the mail, I think it was Miss Barnett.
Okay.
And we were going to try to respond to that. We've just been,
Yes, the sheriff said the
we've been
pandemic threw it off and this.
yeah, we've had a
but-
lot of other problems
Right.
that kind of took
Yes.
precedence over this, but we didn't just ignore the letter.
Right.
We just haven't had an opportunity
I
to
understand.
focus on that. And, but what the sheriff told you is, farmers do this all the time.
Yes.
We had, in a previous court with the other magistrates that we were talked about leash laws and so forth in
Right.
the county, and one of the magistrates just said, I'll tell you how we solve those problems, we shoot them.
Yeah,
And he was serving in a rural area,
Right.
and I'm not promoting shooting dogs.
right,
But at the same time, if they're challenging, or if
Yeah.
they're killing or trying to kill
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
your livestock, you have the absolute right to do so.
but I'm not a good gun shooter.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'd shoot my horse.
Right, well, I wouldn't want you to do that
And if the
either.
dog is attacking the horse, you can't shoot the dog to get it off the horse.
Well, I appreciate you being here,
Yes,
and
thank you all.
I'll respond. If you'll leave your telephone number
I'll be
and
glad
your
to.
address, I'll respond to that once I get
Okay.
a chance to focus on it.
Sure,
And,
I somehow got here today, but I thank all of you all for letting me talk, and I
Sure.
also want to say I thank the community so much, and just hearing someone say that they were there to listen to a child cry, I hadn't thought about somebody needing to be there and had to hear that.
Yeah.
But, I
There's-
thank everybody in our community for everything you all do. Thank you.
But if you don't mind, before you leave, would
Yeah.
you mind just saying your name and your address and your telephone number on this, just so I can?
This, okay. Joyce Upchurch, 1674 Mormon Lane. And my number is 270-303-1891. And I'd be glad to be on a committee, a board. There's a lot of people here that I think would want to be on that board too. And we were also talking about dogs on chains, that they didn't know whether to call animal control. But they're sitting there in water. But then animal control says if they have food, water, and shelter, they can't do anything. But we know abuse when we see it, so thank you.
I agree. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Ms. Upchurch.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all right. That's all right. Thank you.
I did leave 3 pages off after all.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Squire Young?
Thank you, Judge. There's a lot of people that have been thanked this morning, and a group of people that have not received thanks that I certainly are due is our county and city school officials. Schools have been opened up and helping people, and so many of the kids, because school's out, have been out volunteering and helping too. So just a shout out to those organizations and thank them for what they do. I know they're doing a lot of good work. And to tag along with what Ron mentioned, this is not going to be over with quickly. So, everybody, just be ready to buckle down for the long haul. It's going to take us a while. And I know people will run out of patience, but just remember, doing the best we can with what we got, and we are doing real good. We've heard that all over from people that deal with this kind of stuff all the time. We're doing good, so it's going to take a while.
It is. It is. And I think RECC finishing up here in 5 days was remarkable. I'd already told most of my constituents across the county to expect 3 weeks, just because of the magnitude of it. And when you have that many good friends and neighbors coming in to help you from other communities all across the southeastern United States, things can get done in a remarkable amount of time.
I drove in from 31W north, almost up Cave City, come down 31W. I could not believe the number of utility vehicles, bucket trucks on every pole. It was unbelievable. I should have taken a picture, but I didn't. But so much work being done on that end of the county. I've purposely stayed away from the other areas where we've been advised of, if you don't have business there, leave them alone so they can do their work.
Yeah.
But that was amazing up 31W.
Squire McWhorter?
There's not a lot for me to say, but I certainly appreciative. Thank you all for your comments, and I certainly do appreciate those. Our prayers are for continuous healing. I have a number that people should report: outages, down trees, power lines, any issues that they have, and that is 270-393-4116. So if people have or still have outages and down power lines and things like that, call 270-393-4116.
That's right.
Merry Christmas.
That's the number. And for those who just have questions and they don't know which number to call, United Way is operating the 211 service for us. If you just want to know just about anything, just call 211 and they'll direct you to the right people, try to save you a lot of time. Did want to wish Squire Gorman a happy birthday on January 3rd. He's going to be 60. However old you are. He's not very old. He's a young child. But our next meeting's not till January 7th at 9 a.m. and he has a birthday on January 3rd before that. Ms. Bessinger, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you so much. Mr. Burrow?
Thank you, Judge. Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Craig. Judge Smith?
Thanks, Judge, and wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Is there any other business to be brought before
Judge,
this
quickly,
body? Yes, sir.
Squire Cummings had a birthday yesterday, and he's much older than I am.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Ron. I'm sorry I missed you.
We didn't give the phone number
Oh, you mean for
for the hotline
Process cleanup?
on microphone. You all got it.
Please get it.
Okay.
Please do it. You have the floor.
800-451-1954.
Okay. And that-
800-451-1954. And we're already looking into an extension past December 24th.
Okay. Thank you so much, Glenda.
We should wish Terry Hale the best, and Brenda, the family, as he goes through surgery today.
Absolutely, we do. Not sure Terry would appreciate you telling anybody.
Well, I hope I didn't do it.
No, I understand. He's kind of a private guy. But anyway, I appreciate the thought, and I know that they do too. And I believe he's going to be, I believe with all my heart, he's going to be fine. Any other business to be brought before this group?
Move we adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn by Squire McWhorter and second by Squire Young.